Hey folks, it's David Perdue, and with NAMS, Novice to Advanced Marketing System, mynams.com, and I've got Captain Lou in the house here, and I see our other two are in the attendees, not in the admin section. So let me just grab these guys 1 second and see if I can get them switched over. Give them a little... Uh-oh, Gina, I just kicked you out, sorry. And Helen, here's your link. So use that to come in, Helen. And I got to find Jean over here. And we're going to get started in just a second. That was not the link you guys received, so but it'll get you in. So come on in. So let's see. Let me tell you what we're doing first. This is the day 2 of our 5-day Hangout series that we're doing on. We're calling it the NAMS12 preview sessions. Although we haven't done a lot of preview of the NAMS12, we are inviting in our instructors, a lot of our instructors from current, previous, and future NAMS events. We have a bunch of instructors in the NAMS system, about 115 at this point, who have either been an instructor or who have are set to be an instructor at the next one, or are an instructor at the current one. And the way we pick instructors is pretty interesting. Instructors are always referred by the instructors. I don't pick instructors. Instructors are referred by additional instructors, and we get them in that way because they have a real piece of skin in the game to do that. So that's what we want, is instructors who are high integrity and come with high recommendation. And so I like to spread the wealth there a little bit. And it's worked out really well that way. So we've got some good people today with us, and we've got additional instructors coming on all week long. Now we've been tackling, Lou, we got Captain Lou here, who is from NAMScruise.com. How about that, huh? Captain Lou from NAMScruise.com. We're taking a cruise in January. I think it's January 25th. Is that right, Lou?
It is. It is. Does that mean that my lower third is now showing up that I just did in the last 5 seconds?
Your lower third is not showing up yet.
Oh, okay. I'm playing around with the Hangout toolbox while you're getting started here, and haven't been on Google on Hangouts in a while, and loving this. Hey, so do you like Webinar Jam?
I love Webinar Jam. It's actually a pretty good tool. It's been very useful and helpful to me to conduct these things in an easy way. I love the processing piece of Webinar Jam, the way it incorporates with the Google system and YouTube, so that it works out really well that way. Gene, you were just in, you just went out, so come on back. And Lou, you said you were broadcasting from where?
From the subterranean Captain Lou World Headquarters here in Brooklyn, New York.
Good for you. So Brooklyn, New York. You wouldn't have guessed it, huh?
With that Brooklyn accent, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so let me just respond to Gene here real quickly, who's having trouble getting in. These 3 questions. These 3 questions that we're going to talk about today are when have you been stuck in your business? How did you get unstuck? The second question is, what's the biggest problem you've ever faced in your business, and how did you overcome it? And the third question, which is going to come toward the end, is your secret weapon. What has been your secret weapon to success in your online business? So we'll get to you in just a second with that. Before we do, though, I want to tell people NAMS12 is August 1, 2, and 3. It's the Novice to Advanced Marketing System. And if you don't know about it, I'm just going to show you real quickly what we've got on NAMS12. So let me just get that up here, and I'll show you the new site. You can go to nextnams.com. And we're getting all geared up for this. I'm going to show it to you on the screen as well here. It's pretty exciting. Helen, you might think you're in, but you're not in. So I just sent your email with your admin. I just sent the admin link to your email. Go to your email and log in with that link, please. And what you're seeing here is nextnams.com, and this is we have our $497 price until June 30th. Everybody on the Hangouts this week gets a couple of options to get in at a reduced rate. So I'm going to tell you what those are in just a second. We have a registration page. The schedule is what everybody's always interested in. And the way the schedule works is that we have Thursday. We have, oh, I see we've got you on the wrong spot here. Lou, I've got you on Thursday. It should be Sunday there. So I'll get that fixed. We have Thursday 1 to 4. We have a mastermind with Alex. And then we have two add-on workshops that are available to the public, and that is Launch Your Kindle Bestseller with a hands-on workshop, and that's with Kristen Eckstein. And then we have a Kevin Riley at 3 o'clock with a Unplugged and Making Money. It's passive income, and it's a video presentation that Kevin has done from Japan for us. So it's really good. Kevin is a great step-by-step guy. Now I want to show you up here how the schedule works. And you'll want to go to the schedule and create an account here. You have to create a separate account here to get in. But you can see that if you click on the add-ons, the keynote, the mastermind, or any of the 100, 200, 300, 400. So for example, if I click on the NAMS 200, you're only going to see the 200 schedule below. So you can see they're all of the same color. That's who's teaching when in the 200 schedule. If you click on the 300, you'll see who's teaching when in the 300. If you click on back to the old thing to clear the filter, you get all of it. So this is an interactive schedule, and it will, when you create your account and come in, you'll be able to choose your personalized schedule, and that's the really cool part. So you click on this guy, and you can actually just check the one that you're coming to, and it'll show up on your own personalized schedule, which you can get to via your mobile device, your iPhone or your iPad or whatever you're using, or your Android even. We have instructor bios here, and you have all kinds of ways of printing out the schedule if you want it, so you can actually get a print version here too like this. So the schedule's really cool, and we'll have all those topics filled in this week as well. We're actually putting those in place now. Let's see, I'm going back to the top up here. If you don't know about the hotel is here. And this is one of the nicest teaching hotels in the world, I think. It really is cool. We have a really good rate for people at 99 bucks, and we have a ton of it that we're using. You can see here that we're using almost all of the hotel. The amphitheaters, the 2 teaching rooms here, the cab room, and the full ballroom here. And we have sponsors and tables here in the side. So it's all good, and it's about the airport is right here. So we're on the other side of Atlanta, and it's a straight shot on MARTA, so it's easy to get to. All right, so I think that's enough of what we're talking about with the NAMS. I wanted to tell you about how you can get in and actually do a special deal with us. There's 2 ways. If you come to the site during these Hangouts this week, you can get a special rate with by clicking on the link. Instead of the $497, you can get the $397 rate with it is NAMS Hangout is the coupon code, NAMS Hangout. You input that coupon code, you'll save $100. I can tell you, though, how to save $500 if you're interested. And that's really simple. Go to NAMSinsiders.com, and you become a NAMS Insider, and NAMS Insiders get the NAMS workshop for the $197 charter rate, and that's until the end of this month. So if you're interested in doing that, jump in there. NAMSinsiders.com, $7 to join, $37 a month, and you get it here for $197 as an insider. So it looks like Helen and Jean both are having issues getting in and out of the webinar. So Captain Lou, it's you and me.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad mine is working. I
Me
think it's
too.
they have to
Me
check
too.
their, I think they have to check their emails and come in as an admin for through Webinar Jam.
They do. They do. And I've sent it a couple of times, so we'll just see how it goes. Jean keeps coming in and out, and she can't get her audio to work, so that's an issue.
I'm
So,
glad I.
Captain Luke, I wanted to ask. Let's just start off. You've been stuck in business.
Oh my goodness, I've been stuck many times, and it's taken me 15 years to become an overnight success.
Right?
I remember when I was a green newbie just showing up at my first ever seminar in January of 2003. A seminar like NAMS, but actually there's nothing like NAMS. For those of you that are on the call right now, on the Hangout, and you've never been to a NAMS live event before, I wish we had something like that back when I started out.
Yeah, me too.
There weren't many gurus.
Right.
Yeah.
So stuck. You've been stuck.
What got me stuck was several things. Number one, my depression era mentality of basically being afraid of investing in myself, being afraid of charging my clients what my true worth really was, by being a people pleaser and wanting to provide excellent customer service. I'm in the hospitality business, but really trying to be everything to all people, which you can't do, by not defining my market and going after affluent clientele that can afford my services. You can identify with that, right?
Yeah.
There were so many areas. I mean, I remember back in 2007 when I came out with my first info product, which was a lead generation disc for group leaders called JAWS, the Just Add Water System. And I was having a conniption fit over, I wanted to charge $20 or give this away for free. And, no one values what they get for free. And I remember my mentors and my mastermind group at the time, and, we'll talk about why that's so important, kind of really trying to get me to charge not $20 or even $47, but actually $97 for my first info product. That's really just a prospecting disc for new groups. And I said, who in the world will pay $97 for this thing? But there are people that will do that. So my biggest stumbling block was valuing myself, valuing my products, not going after an affluent audience, not knowing my market. I think everybody who just starts out goes through these things, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And so your biggest stuck moment there was actually getting ahead of your own mind, pretty much putting your mind out of yeah. So a lot of us go through that where we really believe that we don't have anything to offer, or we don't know enough, or we need to learn more. My big one was that I needed to learn more. I'm a perpetual student, so one of the things that's really, really hard for me is to actually say enough's enough. Let's get it out the door. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I'm kind of a pushy person. So Helen Raptopoulos, you're with us as well.
Hey, Helen.
I figured it out. So sorry.
That's all right. All right. So can you turn your volume up a little bit?
Yeah.
Or maybe, there you go. Just get a little closer. There you go.
There we go. Okay. And I have a microphone, so hopefully that helps also.
Oh, it does. That's great. That's great. So tell us about when you were stuck.
I was thinking about this, and getting stuck is definitely a part of business. I think everybody does. And if you're not getting stuck, I decided it's because you're not playing big enough. So every time I try to play bigger, I get stuck. So it's all kinds of things. It can be technology. It can be having so many ideas I don't know which one to run with. Relationships, clients that maybe you don't absolutely fall in love with, but they're paying. There's just stuck places everywhere you turn. So I get stuck all the time, and I think getting unstuck really has to do with the support and the encouragement of some people in your corner. That really helps you to get unstuck. It helps you to get refocused, and hanging out with people like in our NAMS family here. When you go to live events and you have people who are holding themselves to a higher standard. So when around people who are holding themselves to a higher standard, you can't help but focus on what's possible instead of focusing on where you get stuck. And that alone helps you to get unstuck, believe it or not. It just does.
Yeah, you get really motivated with what's possible, don't you?
Yeah, it's like magic.
And it kind of steps you up a game, right? I mean, you see what's possible, and then you see, why can't I do that? And then so you think, well, maybe I can, and then you got people all around you pushing you to do that, right?
Yes, absolutely. And getting unstuck is something you just have to really get comfortable with, and just kind of sit down and reprioritize and get refocused, and then get back in there, because if you let getting stuck stop you, you're going to stay there. So yeah, you want to be around people who pull you out of it.
So you were a student of Connie Reagan Green's for a long time, right?
Yes, I was. Yep.
And Connie's one of the most unstuck people I know. I mean, Connie just bulls ahead and does what she needs to do, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It's important.
So tell me about a time in your business when you had one specific thing that you were stuck about in your business and that you wanted to move forward in. How did you do it?
I remember a time of being stuck where I really wanted to know what it was that was my niche. You know, it's so important to pick one thing to focus on. And when you're a creative entrepreneur, it's very difficult to pick just one thing, because you want to do a little bit of everything. And getting unstuck there was, you know, Connie's advice to that was, let the niche pick you instead of you trying so hard to pick the niche. And I don't remember how it all worked out, but it was just kind of magical that people would ask certain questions, or they would just start talking about, like, for example, with me, my niche became productivity, and I didn't necessarily choose it, but people would be like, how do you get so much done in a day, and how do you get so much done while you're traveling?
Right.
And because those were the questions, then that helped me get unstuck with having to go and choose the niche and doing research on it. Instead, I just went with the flow and said, well, this is what people want to talk about, and this is what they're asking me about, so I guess that's my niche, whether I like it or not.
And it's interesting the way that works, because that's probably the best way to choose a niche. Actually, it's really a cool way to choose a niche, because you had some expertise already built into that, right? So you recognized an asset that was already there.
Yeah, exactly. It was something that I just took for granted, or I did, and yeah, I can sit down and I can get my work done, and so it became an obvious choice. And you know, but again, as a creative entrepreneur, I think we always want to be reinventing ourselves. And maybe some people find a niche and they fall in love and they're passionate about it and they hold on to it forever. But as creative entrepreneurs, and I keep using that word because I think it's just where I'm at right now, that we kind of want to keep reinventing ourselves, and then you let the niche choose you, or people start asking you about other questions, and you say, okay, so I can widen my scope. Instead of my niche being just time management or just productivity, I can expand that now, and that will always be a part of who I am and maybe where I got my start, but then I expand and I grow.
Okay. So we've got quite a few people on here, and I want you guys to actually ask some questions. If you have questions, type them in the chat box, and we'll come back to those in a little bit. Helen, before I go back to Captain Lou, I almost called you Dr. Lou. Before I come back to Captain Lou.
Captain Lou.
Hey, Helen.
Hi, Lou, by the way. Hi.
So before we go back to Lou, though, I want you to talk to people and tell them what your business is and how they can find you.
My business is Action Habits, and Action Habits are the tiny things that you need to do consistently in order to get the result that you want, or in order to create the lifestyle that you want to live. So actionhabits.com is my website, and that's the best way to find me. Helen on FB for Facebook, and that's me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Captain Lou, tell us about what your business is and how you got started in it.
Well, before I became the $1 million producer planner of these niche special event groups on cruise ships, actually that niche found me as well. I was just an ordinary travel agent from Brooklyn, New York, struggling to make more than $1,000 in my first year in commissions. And I showed up at a seminar, much like yours. But you know, David, someone in the audience said, hey, Captain Lou, want to do a JV? I didn't even know that JV stood for joint venture. I thought she was asking me to smoke a joint with her in the bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
What? I said, no, I don't do that kind of thing. She said, no, JV, it's a joint venture. She says, she says, this kind of conference, seminar, could we do something like this on a cruise ship, sitting in a jacuzzi, sipping a pina colada while sailing away from some exotic sun-drenched island in the Caribbean or the Bahamas, and all of a sudden, like, ding, 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 ding. Oh yes, absolutely. I looked her straight in the eye, and having never done anything like this before, I said, in fact, that's my specialty.
Right.
And it soon became Little Shop of Cruises, Not Horrors, I turned into from a travel agent that was one of a million travel agents to a 1 in a million event producer of specialeventsatsea.com, where we do things like the annual Alaska Mystery Cruise coming up on Princess. We have the United States Marine Corps Veterans Cruise. We have the Martial Arts Cruise coming up. A lot of huge group theme events for different niches outside of the IM community. And of course, here in this world, my favorite, biggest flagship event of the year, where 500 of the world's top online entrepreneurs come together from 17 countries around the world for networking and schmoozing while Caribbean cruising. Yeah. And that's the Marketers Cruise, also known as NAMS12. But David, you and Helen, everybody knows me from the cruise group event, being the cruise group event planner. But what you may not know is I'm also author of Think Groups and Grow Rich.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
For the travel agent industry, and many DVDs, CDs. Here in the box, a $5,000 complete training program called the $1 Million Group System for the travel industry, which that took a lot of courage to come out with a high-ticket product like this.
Wow. So man, you can do it all.
Obviously, you're not stuck now, right?
Obviously, I'm not stuck now, and I think David's next question is going to be, what got you unstuck?
Exactly. Tell us what got you unstuck.
By the way, I just wanted to show you. Here's some of the shiny, happy people having fun on these great group cruises, which we hope
you hate cruising, don't you?
I love it. No, you don't get seasick. Okay. So what got me unstuck? And at this point, I have a 7-figure business, and 2/3 of it is producing these group cruise events and having the time of my life doing it. And the other third is actually training travel agents how to get unstuck and how to be my competitors, because I'm very blessed. I have more business than I can handle, and I don't want to have more employees. I've got 3 employees, 1 full-time, 2 part-time, and I don't want 50 employees at this point in my life. I want to just travel the world, have fun, make some money, and enjoy my loved ones. Am I right, David?
That's it.
So what got me unstuck? What got me unstuck was I remember listening to a seminar call with Mark Victor Hansen. He said you need a vision, a mentor, a partner, and a team. So my vision was going to be something that's unshoppable. I needed an unshoppable niche to separate myself from the hundreds of thousands of ordinary travel agents. And I wanted to sell one-on-many instead of one-on-one. And that's very easily doable with websites and webinars and Google Hangouts and live presentations. And so the vision was Special Events at Sea, to transform an ordinary cruise into a wildly successful and unshoppable theme event, life-changing theme events. David, you were part of last year's Marketers Cruise, so you know what I'm talking about. So the first thing was the vision, to really focus and narrow down on the vision. And then I can't tout enough how important it is to have a supportive partner, And that doesn't mean a business partner. It could be your spouse. It could be your best friend. Somebody that really loves you and wants you to succeed and wants to hear all of your stories of trials and tribulations. And, you know, if you have that wonderful, if not a team. So if you can't afford to have a team work for you right now, even if you're outsourcing tasks on Fiverr or to the Philippines, if you can't have a team around you, how important it was for me to join a mastermind group,
I'm
a
glad
group
you brought
of my
that up.
peers.
Yeah,
Right, David?
Yeah, I really want you to talk about that mastermind because to me, that has been one of the big keys on not only staying on track, but making sure I don't go into the places where I shouldn't be playing. You know, so talk about that a little bit.
So your now, whether it be the NAMS, I mean, David, you have a fantastic group of
I do.
it's like the support group for. It's like a 12-step program for internet marketers, support group therapy that where people can speak your language, and that's why we're getting together in August at the next NAMS. Because where in your own community can you have that kind of rapport where people understand you and want to help you build your business? Many business events that I attend outside of this world, they're more close to the vest. They're not sharing their sources and secrets and strategies the way we all openly do to help each other build each other's businesses. So to have that team is so important. I personally have been involved in several mastermind groups where these are your accountability partners that hold your feet to the fire and say, okay, Lou, and we had a 2-hour mastermind call last night in a group I've been in for years, and where they say, okay, Lou, how did you do? What did you do? What are you going to do next? When you're on the next call, what action steps are we going to hold you accountable for that you're going to do, think or swim, and then tell us about? And we go around the room.
Yeah, let me give you 2 examples from my life that have made all the difference or made a big difference. One is that I meet every 2 weeks on Wednesday morning and this is, by the way, about getting unstuck. And I meet every 2 weeks on Wednesday morning in what we call a revenue accountability group. And it is very specific. It is all about how much revenue did you make in the last 2 weeks and what's your plans for the next 2 weeks. And it's just keeping us on track about building that business from an income perspective. That's one thing. It's an accountability group more than it is a mastermind group. We get on there, we just go through it quickly, we pound each other, and we get it done. The next thing is I actually have somebody that I have partnered with in the last 6 weeks where I report my daily income numbers to her every night. So that's hard. Let me tell you, that's hard.
Is that your lovely wife?
No, it's not. My lovely wife knows. My lovely wife knows, but it's a person who knows how hard it is to build a business, the kind of business that we're doing. And so every night I send her via Skype what my numbers are, and she sends me what her numbers are. And let me tell you, some days the numbers aren't good. Some days the numbers are a lot. And on those days when the numbers are not good, I don't want to tell anybody, you know. But it makes me look at it. It makes me get real about what my daily nut is and about my daily revenue. And then there was the third thing I was going to tell you. Oh, and there's another person then who I respect as a counselor, right? Somebody who is really helping me in the productivity and the kind of the focus. It's a coach that I'm using, and one of the things that this coach has done for me is say, David, you need to do more stuff every day that is moving your business toward the goal that you have. Can you set aside 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day, no phones, no email, no anything, to focus on just that business building stuff? Now, I've done this before. I've tried to do this before. I've tried to set aside time and stay on it.
Yeah.
This person, I'm accountable to for that. Being accountable makes all the difference in the world. And Helen, I know you have a lot of experience with accountability and productivity, so jump in there.
Accountability is everything. I mean, you have to have accountability because when it comes to just you and yourself, you can justify, and it sounds so good, why you don't need to do something or why it can wait. And accountability is the one thing that will kick your butt because you, like you said, you don't want to report the bad stuff, so it makes you work a little harder. And it's unfortunate we don't do that for ourselves, but if there's nobody checking in, what'd you do today? How are you doing? How's it going? What'd you accomplish? It doesn't matter if you do anything. It's just we need to tell somebody. We need to be accountable. So I think accountability is like the most important thing in building a business. You can't do it all by yourself. You need other people.
Yeah, and that's a huge point right there. You know, one of the reasons that we have as our tagline in the NAMS system, team training and tools, is because team is first, in my mind. If you don't have a team, you can't build a business. And people who say, I've built this on my own, I've done this on my own, they're lying. I mean, that's the deal. I just don't believe it, ever.
You get there a lot quicker if you step in and take some help. You know, having a coach, having a mentor, I mean, if you have that, it's going to shortcut your learning curve, and you have to have that. I mean, who wants to just go figure it all out when you could just talk to someone who's been there, done that, and can hold your hand a little bit and give you a push and help you be more courageous or help you take a shortcut? I mean, who doesn't want that? You have to have that in business.
Yeah, you do. You do. So
that's what happened for me.
Go ahead, Luke. Luke, you have something?
I was just saying that's what happened for me because I'm not smart enough to have figured all of this out on my own.
That can't be true.
Well, but there's something to that too. Not about you not being smart enough, but about us having a partner kind of that we work with. I know you have Mike and Donna that you work with for the Marketers Cruise. Do you have partners for other cruises that you do as well?
I do. I have group leaders that have become friends and mentors. They're all in interesting niches. I in my mastermind group, I have someone who makes his entire living selling digitally downloadable murder mystery party planning kits online. He has a 6-figure business selling murder mystery, and he does murder mystery workshops. Is that awesome?
Yeah.
He's got 13 titles on Amazon and Kindle, and we're always talking about his projects, and we do the annual Murder Mystery Cruise together. And then I have, I just have people in different niches. You may not know Howard Tiano. He's known as the Outsourcerer.
I do know Howard. Yeah.
You know Howard, so Howard's in our group. We've up until recently had a gentleman, Jay Jennings, who created Sonic Memo. We did something together called Product Creation Vacation. I have a jewelry crafting woman that teaches people in crafts on how to promote their jewelry, customized jewelry and beading offline and online and at shows. And there's just so many different ways that I think people are using. I use internet marketing for my cruise business.
Yep.
And internet, my business is not an internet marketing business. I use internet marketing in my business.
Yeah.
There are so many niche entrepreneurs out there that are utilizing these strategies and these modalities to build 6- and 7-figure and some even 8-figure businesses. Some of them are on the Marketers Cruise. That I try to surround myself with those people to see what they're doing and to share and spark ideas. Mm-hmm. And that's what's worked tremendously for me going forward. It's been amazing.
Let me ask a question here. I see that Heidi has asked a question here in the chat box that says, how do you get a coach with no resources to do so? I think we've all been in that spot, right? I mean, you just don't have the extra cash. You're a little bit afraid of going out and hiring a coach. You want to make sure that you have enough money to consistently use your coach. I mean, a coach can be a big investment, anywhere from $50 to $1,000 a month, depending on who you get and what you do. So how do you guys, have you been in that situation, and what would you suggest that Heidi do to use a coach?
Helen?
Okay, I have a couple different things. Yes, I've been in that position. One time when I really wanted to work with a coach a while ago, and I was just getting started, I was a coach myself but needed to hire a coach. I actually volunteered. It was Fabienne Fredrickson, actually. I wanted to work with her, and I did not have the money for her program, and so I emailed her and I said, I will work for you. I will do absolutely anything. I'll come to your events. I'll be your errand girl, your assistant girl. I'll do anything I can to be at this event where you're doing this coaching program. And That worked out. I have to say that was a really awesome thing, and it was really brave of me because I was so scared, and I thought that would just be looking so bad. But I just volunteered to work for her in exchange for that coaching program, which I did get that accepted. So that was great. Another thing is going to networking events or live events. I know if money is an issue, then going to a live event like NAMS and you don't live near Atlanta, then that can be a problem. But there are always local events as well. And there are people that you can talk to and resources like that where just talking to another person, I mean, a coach or a mentor who specializes, like they've been where you want to go, I think it's the key. It's like, you're where I want to be, you're who I want to be when I grow up, so I want to talk to you and I want to find out what you did to get there so I can be you when I grow up.
Right.
But there are also people you can just talk to, and if you come with a few key questions and you can get access to people who are where you want to be, maybe they're not in the title of a coach, or they haven't been trained, but they're where you want to be, then ask them some questions. Or, you know, people are, I think, really honored by the fact that you admire them or you respect what they've accomplished. And, you know, whether you take them out for lunch, whether you jump on Facebook in a private message group, whether you find a way to talk to them and just ask a few key questions. I'm just getting started, you know, I just love what you've accomplished, and if you could just tell me one or two things that I could do to kind of move in the direction I want to go, what would you suggest to me? I mean, who wouldn't answer that? I'd answer that all day long if somebody, you know, approached me and just needed a little help. I mean, yeah, I want to make money and I want to have people hire me and do a big training program, but I'm happy to talk with people. This is just who I am, and I think all people who are coaches or mentors, that's just who they are, and they want to share. So I wouldn't let the money issue intimidate you from just getting started.
Okay. Lou?
Well, I have a little bit of a different take on this. You know, I was the cheapest guy in town, not wanting everything for free. I'm the guy who looks for the double coupons, and
You're our worst nightmare.
Right. And it certainly didn't hurt that I have as clients and now good friends people like Mike Filsame and Donna Fox and Jim Edwards and Armin Morin and Alex Mondosian and, you know, a lot of the top A-listers that have been my clients on these cruises. So I will admit I've gotten a lot of free coaching just from having friends that are A-listers. But beyond that, and certainly when you all come on the cruise, you have a way of meeting all the right people. But that's a little side plug for the cruise. But the fact is, for myself, I never wanted to invest in myself. And I'd make excuses why I couldn't afford coaching or a mastermind group or higher level training. Because, you know, A, I didn't want to spend the money, and B, who knows more than me? I thought I was the cat's meow before I entered this world. Boy, was I mistaken, and boy, did I find out I have a lot to learn. So for me, I think that I've done a lot of bad investments. I have, you know, my stock market strategy is to buy at the very top and sell when the stock or mutual fund goes down to zero. I bought our waterfront condo overlooking Manhattan on the Hudson River. When do you think I bought my beautiful condo? I finally took the plunge into real estate right
2009.
before. What was it? 2008. I think. Right before right before the plunge.
Oh.
So you signed the contract and lost about half of it, right?
And by the way, when it comes to the stock market, David, Helen, never trust a broker named Marcus, as a British guy named Marcus Finagle.
Finagle. That word says it all. Finagle.
Marcus Finagle told me, Lou, don't worry about our aggressive growth strategy. Even if you lost everything and were completely wiped out, you're still young enough to work another 20 or 30 years and build it all back.
Oh, my God. All right.
Not good advice.
But here's what I finally realized, David and Helen. The best investment for the best return on investment is in yourself, in your continuing education, in your skill set, and eventually in your business.
Yes.
So don't go looking at shiny objects to invest money in. Invest in yourself. Take the plunge, make the commitment, have those accountability partners, and go forward and set a goal to reverse engineer. I mean, I said, I want to have $1 million business. How How many cruises do I have to sell? Now we're at 2 million. How much profit do I need to make? What does my conversion rate need to be from lead to sale? All of those things, and set that goal, and then just move towards it without blinders and without distraction. The best investment is in yourself. And guys, I'm imagining that everyone watching this Hangout now or later on replay already has a coach and a coaching program. They have you, David, don't they?
Well, they do have me, and you know, one of the things that you talked about too was that they have their peer groups in the NAMS system. Deborah says here, NAMS is different from a lot of other live events because there is a huge and active community to support you after you get home via Facebook, Skype, and the other communication tools that we have. And that's what happens at the workshop, is that people get into these groups. And you know, a coach does not have to be Mike Gilsane. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't have to be Captain Lou. It doesn't have to be Helen. It doesn't have to be somebody that charges a lot of money for these things. It can be the person sitting next to you at the workshop who has a skill that you don't have.
Right.
And Helen, I loved what you said about just going after somebody that you want to work with. I actually, as you were talking, I thought, you know, I've got 3 people right now that I'm coaching who don't pay me, because we have bartered for skill sets that I don't have. So they're doing stuff for me, and we check on that every month. And, you know, and some people call that interns, by the way. But they do stuff for me, and then we have coaching calls as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, one of the things about having a coach is, I think, is to start with a mastermind group. Because there's always going to be 1 or 2 people in a mastermind group that kind of rise above because they're having some super success, and you can find out what they're doing and follow them. And if it's you, that's great. You don't want to be that person in a mastermind group very long, though. You don't want to be the you don't want to be the person in the mastermind group that has grown more than everybody else and is coaching everybody else.
Right.
If that's the case, you want to be the person that is then charging for coaching.
Yeah, then you're the facilitator, and you should make money.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so that should help a lot. Benita says, thanks, wealth of info. Thanks for sharing so much. So your biggest problem, we've got 15, 20, 17 minutes left here. Your biggest problem, Helen, what has been the biggest problem that you've had in your business and you had to overcome it?
The biggest problem, seriously, all the time, besides technology, which is a problem I think we'll all face, is the technology challenges. But seriously, the biggest problem I ever have in my business is me. That might sound silly, but I love to make things more complicated than they need to be. I think all entrepreneurs get to a place where everything is so complicated and there's so many things we could do, and we make it so big, and we just love to dream and have ideas, and it's taking action, so you get stuck there. Whenever I have a problem, it's me. I get in my own way. It could be self-doubt. It's comparing myself to other people. It's being distracted by all the additional offers and opportunities that I'm presented with. I'm constantly just getting in my own way. Sometimes it's not having clear or committed priorities, and I'm my biggest problem. So that's in overcoming my business. I just have to keep getting out of my way, and that I'm not going to go away. So I'm going to continue to be my biggest problem. But every time I come up with a new challenge, you know, if I overcome it, I grow, I learn. I don't let the failure really hold me down very long. I mean, sure, sometimes we get a little down and depressed, and then we're like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm turning this around, and you get out of your own way until you get in your way again. So I don't know if that's a silly answer, but I am my biggest.
Not at all. I love that answer because, you know, I think that's true of me as well. I am always my biggest problem because I overthink things. I've got so many diagrams of how the funnels work and how things work, and you know, I look at the diagrams and I think, oh, that's too much trouble. I won't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I just do it, you know, if I just do it, it's a whole lot better. And by the way, I'll tell you, there's a proverb, and it's not really a proverb. It's some saying that I love. That is, if I'm not the problem, there is no solution.
That's
the only thing that we can change is us, right?
That down.
So if I'm not the problem, there is no solution, because I'm not going to change you, and you're not going to change me, and it has to be an inside job. So you're lucky that your biggest problem is you, because it's something that you can do something about. You are. You are. Lou, what's your biggest problem in your business, and how do you overcome it?
I saw the enemy in the mirror, and the enemy is me.
Anonymously.
Well, let me just say we're all a mess. How about that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. We all are our biggest problems, and if we learn to get out of our own way, we could have success beyond our wildest dreams. I remember having lunch with John Reese at a big seminar about 10 years ago, and I complained about how I'm awful at time management. I'm awful at time management. He said, that's not your problem. Your problem is strategy and scalability. What would happen, Captain Lou, if you had 10 times the amount of business tomorrow that came in today, and you had to service all of those new customers? I said, I would hide under my desk and cry.
Yeah.
And he said, and that's why you're not as big or as successful as you need to be, because you haven't put into place strategy for scalability.
Nice.
Now, I since have. But that was a problem. Another problem is...
Sorry, you don't get off that easy. You have to tell us how to... Scalability, I think, is such an important thing for us to remember as an online business, because that's where we're headed. That's where we're all headed. If you can't scale, you can't grow your business to the level that you want it to be. So talk about scalability and what you had to do to improve scalability.
The first thing that I had to do, David, was psychologically stop being a control freak. Stop being a perfectionist. Stop being a micromanager, because I know I could do things better than everyone else in this office. Wait, they're not here to hear it? No, Nancy's coming in a few minutes. Judy's in the bathroom. Okay, so they we don't want. I know I can do things better than everyone, but there's only so many hours in the day. So I needed to hire people to do the things even 1/3 or half as well as me. Then outsource to places like Fiverr or Elance. Get things done, even if it's not perfect. You know, what is it? Ready, fire, aim. Take action, revise later. All of those sayings.
Yep.
I had to adjust my mindset to just let things be just productive things that you can monetize. Let them happen without me. The next thing is my friend Kevin, my lifelong friend, he said to me, Lou, you have to keep your business and your life at a manageable level. Otherwise, you're going to have a heart attack or a stroke. So please take care of your health. Set times aside that's for you.
Yeah.
Where you tune off and tune out. Now, you guys may know the first thing that I do in the morning when I wake up, instead of kiss my wife Phyllis and maybe cuddle, is I cuddle with what used to be my iPhone, now my Android Galaxy Note 2. I run for the Galaxy Note 2 to check any new orders or bookings that have come in overnight. And Phyllis says to me, Lou, that's not cool.
No.
How about saying good morning to me, please? David, do you ever do that, David?
If I have a bad day, it's usually because I looked at my email first.
Yeah.
And that's a really bad thing to do. My morning routine is to actually do a little spiritual reading in the morning and have a cup of coffee while I'm doing that. And if I pick up my iPhone and start, this happened to me yesterday, by the way. I picked up my iPhone when I picked up the coffee, and I read the iPhone and I had some issues that needed to be dealt with, and I thought, oh, and instead of dealing with those later, I deal with it now. So I didn't get to go on my run yesterday morning. And if I don't run or have some kind of exercise to get out of my head, then the day's shot. And I really struggle with it the rest of the day. And I did yesterday. I struggled with that yesterday. So I have to have these things that help me, get through the day. So that is a really good tip. And by the way, that's probably my biggest problem, is overcoming the problems that I see in my head. Because I read something, I wish I had it with me. There's a newsletter called Life Support, which I love. And yesterday's newsletter came out, and it was about problems. And if I can find it here, I will read it to you guys. But we're going to talk about your secret weapon. We got 10 minutes left. And before we do that, Tim says, For people coming to NAMS, what are some goals your panel would recommend for us to achieve at the event? So, Helen, no, Lou, you got something to say there, I see.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, look, every event that I attend, whether by accident or on purpose, I wind up with a new joint venture. You must make friends with the people sitting next to you, not just the speakers and the gurus, and be interested in what they're doing before you vomit about yourself and your business ideas all over them. Really find out about them. I don't care if it's their favorite color or ask about their travels. Really be interested in your fellow human being, because these are some pretty cool human beings at NAMS. And then figure out what kind of joint venture. Do I have a product that I'm looking for someone that has a list to partner with? Do I have a list that I can help somebody who's got a product? Is there an idea, a germ of an idea for a project that we could work on together? Make some friends. People ask me all the time, David, what are the best ships? Is it Royal Caribbean? Is it Norwegian? Is it Carnival? And Helen, what's the answer? What are the best ships, Helen?
Friendships, relationships.
The friendships, yes, yes. So
that's it.
That's what you need to come to NAMS with arms wide open to embrace not just the information and the gurus that will be teaching you, but everybody in your orbit, because you'll come away with amazing things that you never even imagined.
And
okay.
I have something to add, if I may.
Okay.
I think a really good goal for going to a conference or that type of an event is to step outside of your comfort zone. So in other words, if you're going with friends and you're going with a group of people, don't sit with them and eat with them and only talk to them. Do things that are uncomfortable, whether it's extending your hand and introducing yourself to someone, or if it's finding someone who looks all alone and, being friends and introducing them to someone else. If it's, inviting yourself to eat lunch with somebody that, you think is a little bit bigger than you or ahead of you as far as in their business growth, asking for a sale. Make a goal around, because they're all personal, our goals, and it's really important to continuously move outside of where we're comfortable. So I think one of the very best goals is just to make it a goal every day to do something that scares you a little bit, that takes a little bit of courage and takes you outside your comfort zone, and you will absolutely grow and good things will happen.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I saw at the last event last year, there's a woman who lives here near me who had an online business that wasn't doing anything. And I said, come to the workshop. Just come to the workshop and spend the weekend. Well, I don't know anybody there. It's going to be a whole weekend of being alone and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, come to the workshop.
No,
so
it's a family reunion.
Exactly, and she came to the workshop, and on Friday, I saw her by herself eating lunch. By Sunday, I saw her getting off the elevator with a half dozen women going out to dinner, and they've become friends and a group that hangs together since.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah. That's a wonderful story.
Let's see. So Deborah says here, for anyone coming to NAMS, whether they've been before or not, I would say choose the top 3 things you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
In the next 3 months, select the track and sessions you will follow before you come, and stay focused. Don't start on anything new until you can check one of those off the list. Yeah.
Yep. Blinders. Stay focused.
And Kathy says this will be my 4th or 5th NAMS workshop, and listen carefully and choose what you can implement immediately, even before the event is over. And we give you the opportunity at the event, because our sessions are first discover, learn the teaching of what the instructor is doing. Then you have a second part to that session, which is about opening your computer and doing it. Implement what you've just learned. So you should be implementing before you leave.
Yep.
Let's see. I put in there, by the way, the thing I found in the chat section about the problems. It was from the newsletter that I got yesterday, and I'll just read. It's talking about when you go through problems, you need to remember these 3 things. Let go of the idea that your problem is permanent. Few troubles last forever. The second thing was let go of the idea that your problem is pervasive. Don't make your problem bigger than it is. How many people do that? It's like most. Who was it? Mark Twain. Everything's attributed to Mark Twain, so I'll attribute this to him as well. Mark Twain was the one who was supposed to have said, I've had some terrible problems in my life, and about 99, and only 1 or 2% of those happened. The rest was in his head, right? And the third thing is finally let go of the idea that your problem is personal. There's nothing wrong with you because you have a problem. So we all come up with these problems, right?
Those are excellent, excellent points. Excellent.
Okay, so the last thing was, what's your secret weapon? We got about 5 minutes here. So, Captain Lou, what's your secret weapon to business success?
Well, I want to just go back for a moment and share how I did the scalability, and that's through automation. And so there are softwares and automation. This is an automation tool right now that we're doing because this Google Hangout will be replayed on demand. David, you don't have to do this every hour, but you do have to do it every day this week. But the thing is, though, but there are tools for automation, for online sales and webinars and video and audio. There's so many different ways to reach out in the marketplace through blogs and websites and social media, all the things that NAMS teaches you so that you don't have to be selling one-on-one, that you could be selling one-on-many like I do in different markets, in different cities, in countries around the world. The world is at your fingertips now. We didn't have this 20 years ago. We're living in a fantastic time. So automation is the #1 thing for scalability. Outsourcing is another thing. So, you know, and outsourcing can be done on the cheap. You can get any. I had this book cover designed on Fiverr.com for $5. Actually, three different designers, so $15 or $20, and I had this whole thing and the back cover and the spine text, and for another $5, had it formatted for. I mean, you could get people working for you right this minute to get your project out the door. So that's a huge, huge tip that expands your capabilities. Now, Michael Gerber, in the book The E-Myth, said, stop working on your business and start working in your business. It took me a while to learn to get out of the daily minutia that I now have Nancy and Judy take care of for me, while I'm doing the monetizing, the revenue generating, productive stuff that's going to bring in more business and expand my business.
Right.
And it takes a lot of discipline to focus on that, to think, what is the highest and best use of my time right now? Why am I on this Hangout with David? Well, that is the highest and best use of my time right now.
It's the best thing to be doing right now.
Excellent, excellent. So that's the secret weapon right there, is working on your business, not in it every day, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And letting go and let people do things for you, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And you can afford to have, you can get things done for you for $5. So don't tell me that I can't afford, don't tell me I can't afford to outsource. Don't tell me I can't afford a team. You've got one now with the NAMS group, and certainly we'll all be together in August. So all of those things are excuses, or I'm not ready to do this right now. I have to figure. We make excuses and we get in our own way. On Friday, David, on Friday's Hangout, I will reveal, and I know it's kind of a little gauche for Americans to talk about numbers, but David, you have an accountability partner just about your numbers.
That's right.
So it's important. And so I just came back from Vegas, where I did two speaking gigs and a trade show and a book signing. And I was very excited to have a $5,000 day in sales.
Good. Awesome.
Offline. I also had a $4,700 day online, but I had a $5,000 day offline selling from the stage. The only thing that could be better than that is what happened to me last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I've had, you know, I'm not Mike Filsame or Armin Morin or Marshall Silver or any of these top people that can go on stage and come away with 6 figures. But what I did come away with is I had my first $50,000 day. And not selling cruises where I only make 10 or 15%, but selling my own trainings to travel agents. I had a $50,000 day.
Congratulations.
I did something really right. A few things really right that I'll share with you on Friday, because I know we're running out of time today. And boy, does that empower you. When you hit that $50,000 day, you know you can now duplicate that over and over again. Am I right, David?
That's right. That's right. All right. So Helen, you're up. What's your
Okay.
secret weapon?
My secret weapon is other people. It's constantly being around people who inspire me and who are excellent examples of what's possible. I feed off of that. So we've talked about so much of it today, but just other people. So coaches, mentors, accountability partners, masterminding, going to live events, NAMS. That is a secret weapon in alone, because you have everything you could possibly need in one room or in one hotel for a whole weekend and access to everybody. But other people is my secret weapon. I could not be where I am if it weren't for other people. Armin Morin's been my coach. He's held my hand through a lot of difficult times. Connie, all the people I've met at NAMS are wonderful influences. And seriously, being around people who are playing bigger. They have a higher standard for themselves. That holds you to a higher standard. You want to fit in. You want to belong. So you start thinking different, and you believe in yourself, and you believe in what's possible. And that is the best secret weapon.
Okay, that's an excellent one. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Helen, I love the way you talk, because, well, both of you, both are so heart-centered. I really appreciate you you both being here and doing this today and revealing your heart to us. That, by the way, is the if I had to actually if I had to describe what's unique about NAMS, that would be it, right? The heart-centered. Oh, thank you. What have we got there, Lou? Is that, show us again? What is that, Lou? Oh, it's a heart.
The Heart of Gold Award that we give away on the cruise every year.
That's right.
Oh,
It's
that's
very
wonderful.
important, heart-centered.
Okay, so if you're not coming to NAMS yet, we want to make sure that you get there. Nextnams.com, nextnams.com. And remember, the coupon that I have that you're getting on this Hangout only is NAMS Hangout. That'll get you another $100 off of what we've got
Nice.
price right now. So Hangout, what is it? NAMS Hangout, and the nextnams.com. If you want a really good price and great support and great training and great tools and team every month, join the Insiders Group, NAMSinsiders.com, NAMSinsiders.com, and you join for a 30-day trial for $7, and then you can get into the NAMS workshop for $197. So that's a $500 discount. Join the Insiders Group. So there you go. I really appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you so much. It's been a really good session, and you guys are so much fun. Thank you so much for being here.
David, thank you. I just want to tell everyone, you can only go so far sitting in your bat cave, hiding behind your computer, hoping that your business will skyrocket to the next level. You got to get up off your butt, make those plane reservations. Absolutely join us at the next NAMS in Hotlanta in August. I can't wait to meet each and every one of you. We're going to have a blast.
Thank you. Thank you. We do appreciate it. Good night, guys.
Good night, Helen. Good night, David.